Most people spend their entire lives trying to make it in Hollywood. And then there are these 30 people who made it, who stood at the very top, who had the awards, the money, the fame, the roles, and then looked at all of it and said, "No, thank you." Some walked away to raise their children. Some chose public service over celebrity. Some were pushed out by an industry that failed them and found something better on the other side. And some simply decided that life was more interesting than fame. 30 celebrities, 30 exits from the biggest stage on earth. And the story behind every single one of them will stay with you. Let's go. Number 1, in the most extraordinary quit in Hollywood history, Daniel Day-Lewis is the only actor to win 3 Academy Awards for Best Actor. My Left Foot, There Will Be Blood, Lincoln. In 2017, shortly after completing Phantom Thread, his spokesperson released a single statement. It said, "Daniel Day-Lewis will no longer be working as an actor." No explanation, no farewell tour, no final interview. He simply stopped. He was 59 years old at the absolute peak of his powers. He has since been seen quietly in Ireland, painting and writing. He made a stunning return in 2025, co-writing and starring in Anemone, directed by his own son. But for 8 years, complete silence from the greatest actor of his generation. Number 2, Cameron Diaz. In the 1990s and 2000s, she was one of the most bankable and beloved stars in Hollywood. The Mask, There's Something About Mary, Charlie's Angels, Gangs of New York. In 2015, she quietly stopped. No press release, no drama. She later told a friend she was approaching 45 and wanted something different, something she had never done before. She got married, had a child via surrogate, and disappeared from the public eye completely. 9 years later, Netflix called. Back in Action brought her back. She said making it reminded her why she loved it. Sometimes you need to leave to remember why you came. Number 3, and this one is impossible not to respect completely. Rick Moranis was one of the most beloved comic actors of the 1980s. Ghostbusters, Spaceballs, Little Shop of Horrors, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. His wife Ann Belsky passed away from cancer in 1991. He had 2 young children. In 1997, he walked away from Hollywood to raise them alone. Not for a year, not for a break. He raised his children. When they were grown, he occasionally returned for voice work. He reprised his Ghostbusters role in 2021. He never explained himself beyond saying his children needed a parent present. That decision speaks for itself. Number 4, and one of the most dramatic exits in the history of Hollywood. Grace Kelly won the Academy Award for Best Actress in 1955 for The Country Girl. She was 25 years old, Alfred Hitchcock's muse, one of the most photographed women on earth. In 1956, she married Prince Rainier III of Monaco and became Princess Grace. She never acted again. Not once, not a cameo, not a farewell film. She went from the biggest stages in Hollywood to a royal palace on the French Riviera and closed the door completely. She passed away in 1982 after a car accident in Monaco. She was 52 years old. The exit was permanent. The legacy was extraordinary. Number 5. Shirley Temple was, for a period in the 1930s, the single biggest star in Hollywood, child or adult. During the Great Depression, audiences across America went to the cinema specifically to watch her. As she grew older, her popularity declined, and rather than fight it, she pivoted completely. She left acting in 1950 and entered public service. She ran for Congress. She served as United States Ambassador to Ghana and then to Czechoslovakia. She became Chief of Protocol of the United States. She went from the world's most famous child to one of America's most respected diplomats. She passed away in 2014 at 85. She built two complete extraordinary lives. Number 6. Greta Garbo. She was the most magnetic female presence in Hollywood during the golden age of cinema. Anna Karenina, Ninochka, Queen Christina. She retired at 36 years old after her film Two-Faced Woman received poor reviews in 1941. She said it was temporary. She never acted again. For the remaining 49 years of her life, she lived in almost total seclusion in New York City. She did not give interviews. She did not attend events. She walked alone and declined to be photographed. She became as Number 7. Kal Penn was at the height of his television career, playing Dr. Lawrence Kuttner on House MD to massive critical and audience praise when he asked to be written out of the show. His character died by suicide in the storyline. In real life, Kal Penn had received a call from the Obama White House. He joined the administration as Associate Director of the Office of Public Engagement. He served for 2 years, returned to acting, wrote a memoir about the experience, and became one of the most unusual career pivot stories in Hollywood history. He gave up television stardom for public service and has no regrets. Number 8. Phoebe Cates was one of the most recognizable faces of 1980s cinema. Fast Times at Ridgemont High made her iconic. Gremlins made her beloved. She married actor Kevin Kline, and in 1994, at the height of her fame, she retired from acting to raise their children. She has since opened a boutique clothing store in Manhattan called Blue Tree, which she runs herself. She has given almost no interviews since leaving. She has not returned to film. She has said that family was simply more important than fame, and that she has not once regretted the decision she made 30 years ago. Number 9. Macaulay Culkin was 10 years old and the most famous child on earth when Home Alone became the highest grossing comedy in history. He made several more films and then, as a teenager, stepped away. Legal battles with his parents over earnings. Public struggles. Years of rebuilding privately. He eventually came back on his own terms. A podcast, a relationship with Brenda Song, a child, a life that looks genuinely content. He walked away from the machine of child stardom before it could fully consume him. Compared to many on this list, that decision may have saved him. Number 10. Gene Hackman. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, 1975. Jack Nicholson. Gene Hackman appears on this list twice, and this entry is remarkable because it happened twice. He passed on the original Broadway production in the 1960s. Then he passed on the film in 1975. Same role. 2 different decades. Same mistake. Jack Nicholson made it permanently and completely his own. Number 11. Brigitte Bardot was the most photographed woman on earth in the 1960s. The French actress and model was a global icon of beauty and sensuality. And at the height of her fame, In 1973, she retired from entertainment completely. She was 39 years old. She dedicated herself entirely to animal rights activism, founding the Brigitte Bardot Foundation for the welfare of animals. She has been one of the most vocal and committed advocates for animal welfare in the world for over 50 years since. She is 91 years old. She has never returned to film. She found a cause larger than celebrity and gave everything to it. Number 12. Doris Day was the #1 female box office star in Hollywood for multiple consecutive years in the late 1950s and early 1960s. Pillow Talk, That Touch of Mink, The Man Who Knew Too Much. In the 1970s, she stepped back from major productions and dedicated herself to animal welfare, founding the Doris Day Animal Foundation. She gave interviews sparingly and lived quietly in Carmel, California, surrounded by animals she had rescued. She passed away in 2019 at 97 years old. She never won an Academy Award despite her extraordinary talent, one of the great oversights in Oscar history. Number 13. Mara Wilson. She was the most naturally gifted child actress of her generation, Mrs. Doubtfire alongside Robin Williams, Matilda as the title character. As a teenager, she faced a reality that Hollywood does not make comfortable. She did not look the way the industry wanted young women to look. She made a decision. She chose herself over the industry. She went to NYU, became a writer and playwright, came out as queer, and wrote honestly about the experience of childhood fame in ways that have helped many other former child stars understand their own experiences. Number 14. Dexter Fletcher was the face of Press Gang, one of the most acclaimed children's television dramas ever made in Britain. He was a teenage star of extraordinary instinct and charisma. As an adult actor, he worked steadily but never recaptured that early peak, so he moved behind the camera. He directed Bohemian Rhapsody after Bryan Singer was removed from the production, and he directed Rocketman, the Elton John biopic that received enormous critical praise. He reinvented himself completely. Sometimes quitting in front of the camera is how you find your real power. Number 15. Frankie Muniz was Malcolm in Malcolm in the Middle, one of the most watched and beloved family sitcoms in television history. At the height of that fame, he pivoted away from acting and pursued professional car racing, competing in the Formula B MWUSA series. He then played drums in a band. He then ran an olive oil business in Arizona. He has since returned to acting in the Malcolm reboot. But for over a decade, he simply lived, trying things, failing at some, succeeding at others, and refusing to let childhood fame become the only story of his life. Number 16. Jeanette McCurdy was the co-lead of iCarly, one of Nickelodeon's most successful productions ever. She has since spoken with extraordinary courage about her experience of child stardom, about her relationship with her mother, and about the shame she felt throughout her acting career. Her memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, became one of the most discussed books of 2022. She is now a theater director and podcast host. She has said she resents her acting career and has no plans to return. What she has built since is braver and more honest than anything the industry offered her. Number 17. Deborah Winger received 3 Academy Award nominations for Best Actress, An Officer, and A Gentleman, Terms of Endearment, Shadowlands. She was one of the most powerful dramatic actresses of her generation. In the mid-1990s, she stepped back significantly from Hollywood, citing frustration with the industry's treatment of women over 40 and the limitations placed on serious actresses as they aged. She has since returned selectively in roles that interest her. Her decision to walk away rather than accept diminished roles was one of the earliest and most articulate protests against Hollywood's treatment of women. Number 18. Evan Rachel Wood's performance in Westworld earned her Emmy nominations and global critical acclaim. She has since spoken publicly about deeply personal trauma and has dedicated significant energy to advocacy, testifying before Congress on behalf of survivors. She continues to work selectively in music and performance, but has stepped well back from the Hollywood machine. Her public courage in speaking truth about her experiences has had a measurable impact on real legislation and real lives. Number 19. Jack Gleeson played King Joffrey in Game of Thrones, one of the most hated and therefore most brilliantly performed villains in the history of television. When Joffrey died in the season 4, Gleeson announced he was done. He was 21 years old. He had been acting since age 8 and had simply stopped enjoying it. He returned to university, pursued philosophy and theology, and worked in small theater. He has given almost no interviews. He wanted a life outside the spotlight, and he took it. He had been King Joffrey. That was apparently enough. Number 20. Gwyneth Paltrow won the Academy Award for Best Actress for Shakespeare in Love. She played Pepper Potts across the entire Iron Man franchise. And then, approaching 45, she decided she knew what the next 20 years of her acting career would look like and chose something different. She founded Goop in 2008. It became a $250 million wellness and lifestyle business. Controversial, polarizing, and spectacularly successful. She traded one form of performance for another, and by any financial measure, the second career has exceeded the first. Number 21. Meghan Markle spent 7 seasons playing Rachel Zane on Suits, one of the most watched legal dramas on cable television. In 2018, she married Prince Harry and became the Duchess of Sussex, stepping back from acting entirely. She and Harry subsequently stepped back from royal duties as well, moving to California, signing deals with Netflix and Spotify, and launching their own production company. The entire trajectory of her life changed in a few years in ways that no Hollywood agent could have predicted or planned. She went from television actress to global figure on her own terms. Number 22. Amanda Bynes was Nickelodeon's most beloved comedic star and a genuine natural talent. In 2010, she announced her retirement from acting via Twitter at 24 years old. The years that followed were publicly difficult. Mental health struggles documented in real time by a tabloid press that showed very little care for the human being behind the headlines. She has since received treatment, stabilized her life, and is studying fashion design. Her story is one of the clearest arguments for why the entertainment industry needs to do more to protect the people it profits from. Number 23. Cate Blanchett, 2 Academy Awards, widely considered the greatest actress of her generation. In 2023, she told the Radio Times that she was, quote, serious about giving up acting. She said the aspects of fame that followed major film releases made her deeply uncomfortable. She wanted to spend time with her family and pursue theater and other creative projects without the machinery of Hollywood attached. She has since returned to select projects. but for a period, the most acclaimed actress alive seriously considered walking away. And her reasons were entirely human and entirely understandable. Number 24. Kim Basinger won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for LA Confidential. She had been one of Hollywood's most magnetic presences since the 1980s. A combination of a high-profile legal battle, personal difficulties, and a bankruptcy filing in the mid-1990s effectively interrupted her momentum at its peak. She returned selectively, but never fully recaptured the status she had in her prime. Her story is a reminder that Hollywood's success is fragile, and that the industry has very little patience for the human complications that arrive alongside it. Number 25. Marlon Brando. He invented modern screen acting. The Godfather, A Streetcar Named Desire, Apocalypse Now. By the mid-1970s, he had become deeply disillusioned with Hollywood, declining to attend the Academy Awards, sending an activist in his place when he won Best Actor for The Godfather. He spent increasing amounts of time on his private island in French Polynesia, Tetiaroa, which he had purchased in 1966. He worked only when he chose to, and for amounts of money that reflected his own estimation of his worth. He passed away in 2004. He never fully stopped, but he spent his final decades on his own terms, which is the closest Hollywood ever allowed him to get to freedom. Number 26. Tippi Hedren was Alfred Hitchcock's final great discovery. The Birds and Marnie made her a star. She has spoken extensively about the harassment she experienced from Hitchcock himself during production. After her relationship with him ended, so did her access to the Hollywood machine he controlled. She pivoted to animal welfare, founding the Shambhala Preserve in California, a sanctuary for big cats. She is now in her 90s and has spent more decades caring for lions and tigers than she spent in front of the camera. She turned her experience into purpose. Number 27. Sean Connery won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for The Untouchables in 1988 and continued to deliver iconic performances well into the 2000s. After completing The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in 2003, a notoriously troubled production, he announced his retirement. He was 73 years old. He said Hollywood had become too idiotic for him to bear. He spent his final years in the Bahamas with his wife. He passed away in 2020 at 90 years old. His last public quote about Hollywood was simply that the fun had gone out of it. When the fun goes, and you are Sean Connery, leaving is the right answer. Number 28. Evangeline Lilly played Kate Austen in Lost, one of the defining television performances of the 2000s, and Hope Van Dyne across multiple Marvel Cinematic Universe films. After completing her Marvel commitment, she announced that she was stepping away from acting to focus on her family and on writing. She had previously published a children's book. She has spoken about her discomfort with the demands that Hollywood places on performers as people, and chose her own life over the industry's schedule. She is among the most recent major Marvel stars to quietly close the door. Number 29. Ian Somerhalder spent almost a decade playing Damon Salvatore in The Vampire Diaries, earning millions of fans and multiple Teen Choice Awards. After the show ended, he walked away from the entertainment industry almost entirely. He moved outside Los Angeles to a farm with his wife, Nikki Reed. He co-founded the Absorption Company, an environmental business. He runs the Ian Somerhalder Foundation for Environmental Education. He has said publicly he is not coming back to acting soon. He traded the vampire for the farm, and the farm appears to be winning. Number 30, and the most extraordinary comeback story on this list. Brendan Fraser was the face of the Mummy trilogy and one of the most beloved action-adventure stars of the late 1990s. He disappeared from Hollywood in the mid-2000s. Years later, he revealed the full story. Chronic pain from years of performing his own stunts without adequate support, and harassment by a powerful Hollywood figure that led to his subtle blacklisting from major productions. He spent years away, financially strained, largely forgotten by the industry. Then Darren Aronofsky cast him in The Whale. He won the Academy Award for Best Actor in 2023. The standing ovation at the Oscars, which lasted for minutes, was not just for his performance. It was for everything he had been through to get back to that stage. 30 celebrities, 30 exits from the biggest stage in the world. Some found peace, some found purpose, some found their way back. Like Brendan Fraser, who stood on that Oscar stage in 2023 and reminded every single person in that room that walking away is not always the end of the story. Which exit on this list surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments right now. I read every single one. Subscribe to Lifestyle TV 2.0, hit the notification bell, and we will see you in the next one.